If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half-century. And to those members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer. Pass a bill.
I would like to dedicate this next video to the hundreds of people that left comments just like these. Not sure where you've been, but welcome back to reality.
The radical left agenda. Take away your guns, destroy your Second Amendment.
Belief that we're all connected as one people.
Religion, hurt the Bible, hurt God. He's against God, he's against
that
guns.
Fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work.
If Joe Biden gets in, your Second Amendment is gone.
Your 401ks and money itself will
Black,
be worthless.
White, Latino, Asian, Native American, young, old, gay, straight, men, women, folks with disabilities, all pledging allegiance under the same proud flag.
We'll never allow an angry mob to tear down our statues, erase our history.
Reflect the complexities of race in this country that we've never really worked through. A part of our union that we have not yet made perfect.
No city, town, or suburb will be safe.
If there's a child on the south side of Chicago who can't read, that matters to me even if it's not my child.
Religion will be gone. Life, you could forget about that.
The economy will collapse.
The market will crash.
Chaos and bloodshed will spread to every community in our land.
We strive together as well to achieve a common good.
Toughness that we need law and order. We have Antifa, we have anarchists, we have terrorists,
You can
we
accept
have
a politics
looters.
that breeds division and conflict and cynicism. Or, at this moment, you can come together and say, not this time.
You got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
Uneducated, in many cases, don't speak the language. They don't have the skills that we need to make America great again. Have you ever
Believe that America is a constant work in progress. Believe that loving this country requires more than singing its praises or avoiding uncomfortable truths.
the far left's extreme abortion agenda, ripping babies from their mother's womb right up until the moment of birth, in fact, killing babies even after birth. You saw
Why the fuck would he say that?
radical movement to completely dismantle and destroy it.
I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
I think it's a step beyond. I think it's going to be a
Not
communist
a
country.
black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. For one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes. All of us defending the United States of America.
What would your message be to people listening that feel we can't overcome this current divide we have?
I talk about this a lot. This is the value of history. I know people feel discouraged right now. Seems like everybody's angry and the atmosphere is kind of mean and we're more isolated socially and politics just seems terrible. But then I got to remind people, all right, we've gone through slavery, Jim Crow, and look, I was talking about Michelle's mom, who grew up in Englewood over here. Yeah, she just passed, a year and a half ago. She basically went to a segregated school. If you lived on the south side of Chicago, you go into downtown to go to Marshall Fields or Macy's, go to a shop was, not something that was necessarily encouraged. When she was coming up, you go into certain neighborhoods, you get beat up bad. So, even the 60s, I'm older than you guys, but I mean, we've gone through assassinations and riots and, Rodney King. And we always, I think, have a tendency, partly because the news projects it, right, to think that our time is uniquely discouraging or tough. And if you study a little bit of history, I do think it gives you that perspective of things go up and down. History doesn't move in a straight line.
All right, I just watched a fairly long video of Barack Obama and Mom Donnie with those kids. Red nose, been blowing my nose. it made me cry unexpectedly. First of all, those videos are circulating. Please watch them. They are delightful and pure. They're so pure. And Barack Obama and Mamdani are so good with the kids. And the kids are so adorable. And the best thing about kids is that they don't care about famous people. And they say whatever they want. And it's perfect. And because Barack Obama and Mamdani aren't malignant narcissists like our president, they laughed and thought the kids were adorable and hilarious. And I was just thinking, like, I saw a clip of Trump on Easter talking to kids, which I think he shouldn't be around any children ever, by the way. And the clip I saw was of him asking them some form of, this is paraphrasing, but do you guys know anyone who voted for Kamala Harris? Because that was a really bad idea, to like 5-year-olds. Because of course that's what he did. And he had the Easter bunny standing behind him. Anyway, this video made me cry because I have forgotten what it is like to have leadership that behaves like Barack and Mamdani did in this video with children. This was a child care center in the Bronx. It was so precious and so funny and so sweet. And it was how leaders should behave in situations like that. And I missed that. There's like a huge hole. Anyway, if you see the videos, you need to watch them because they will make you feel good. I mean, also sad because we don't have that right now in the president, and his entire cabinet. But anyway, they are heartwarming and wonderful.
Miss Obama so much. We had it so good. Was Obama the perfect president? No, not by any means. Each president has had their fault. But Jesus Christ. I grew up with Obama in office, okay? Obama was in office from 2008 to 2016. That's my entire, like, teen life, okay? Y'all ever seen The Crown? You know that moment on one of the first few episodes of season 1 in The Crown after the king dies? And, Winston Churchill is giving his, basically like his speech over the radio. There's a part where he talks about growing up in the August summers of Queen Victoria. And I'm just like, you know what? That's how I feel about Obama right now. It was a beautiful time. I was still able to go back and forth from Mexico. Getting a passport was $25. Gas was like $2.50, maybe $3 sometimes. I'll admit, gas was expensive. I'm not gonna lie, but Lord, everything else wasn't. At that time, ramen was less than 25 cents. I know I said I wanted to grow up, but I'm tired of this, Grandpa. And I know it's too damn bad, but I'm tired.
Welcome back to the Freedom Room, your source for breaking news, trending stories, and thought-provoking political commentary. In today's video, we'll be taking a closer look at the heated debate surrounding former President Barack Obama, political commentator Ben Shapiro, and the ongoing conversation about race, American history, and political division. The discussion has sparked strong reaction from both conservative and progressive, with many questioning whether Obama's presidency united the country or exposed deeper division that had always existed. Watch the following clips carefully, and once they are over, we'll come back to break everything down and share our commentary. Stay tuned.
Barack Obama was the best president that America's ever had. I don't know why we're still having this conversation. He was literally the best. More drone strikes than George W. Bush. You have 10 times the amount of drone strikes to further United States imperialism in a foreign region of the world, quite literally just for the sake of extracting resources, just for the sake of fear-mongering and paralyzing an entire populace with so much anxiety that they do not even have the emotional capacity to meaningfully organize and change the way that society is set up to make it better for them. And all of this happened, and the only thing we can remember is the tan suit. That is excellent. That is incredible. president work. That is no one comes close. And of course, because he's a brother, my dad to this day has a magazine propped up in his room of Obama coming out of a car in an all-black suit with black sunglasses on, and it says black cool at the top. Do you understand how powerful the concept of black cool is? It goes all the way back to Ifa, over 15,000 years, okay? So that's alchemy for the state. Barack Obama's a state alchemist. And here's the thing, alchemy is not the problem, okay? I'm an alchemist. When you do it for the colonial structure, when you do it for the thing that is literally already ripping this world apart at its seams, it makes you wonder, why would someone use their incredibly God-given gifts for the perpetuation of evil? Who do presidents serve? Genuinely. Can you answer that? Do you know who the president serves? Is it you? Because to me, I feel more served by the custodian who's always at the gym on time than I could ever feel served by an elected official.
He's not. And I'm gonna tell you why. First and foremost, let's get this shit out of the way. Two things. Obama was president. He was fully embedded in the US establishment. Just because there was a black face there did not mean that the powers of the US as a colonial force were not imposed on the rest of the world. That brings me to my second point. In his first 2 years of office, he dropped 186 bombs, drones, on majority Arab nations. Like, I think he set a record or something with that number. So he is already calloused to indiscriminate bombing of brown people. But like, the thing that fucked me up the most about Obama's tweet is because I remember seeing a documentary about his life that talked about his early political career when he was in college as a political science student with a concentration in international relations. And I remember how vocal he was about apartheid in South Africa when he was in college. I think this was in the 80s. Like, he was so empowered by Nelson Mandela and the anti-apartheid movement, this global liberation movement, and the attention that was brought to the horrors of apartheid in South Africa, that one of his first ever political speeches, and what some people can argue launched him into politics in the way that he was involved, was a speech against apartheid and the call for the immediate end of apartheid in South Africa. Yet, so many decades later, in the year of 2023, he stands fully in support of our allies, Israel. Like, this man was so anti-apartheid on record that even in 2018, he spoke on behalf of Nelson Mandela to reiterate the horrors of apartheid and how we can never go back to that time. He's also the one that locks arms with Al Sharpton and them, singing Kumbaya and We Shall Overcome, when you can literally compare apartheid in South Africa to segregation and Jim Crow in the States against Black Americans. Like, he is very well versed on who the oppressor has historically been and who the oppressed have historically been. But the thing is, once you join the establishment and once you become a sitting fucking president, former sitting president, you can't speak out against an allied nation like Israel. You have to fall in line. And that is what we've seen from liberal creators on this app, what we've seen from people who are cushy with the White House and other media conglomerates. They have been exposing themselves and exposing the fact that they don't necessarily have the freedom to speak out against Israel, and majority of them don't even want to. Like, you have to be incredibly wary of people who uphold the establishment. and work within that system and claim to change it from the inside. Because best believe, niggas love that blood money.
From the clips you have just seen, it is clear that this debate goes far beyond politics. It raises questions about race relationship, media narratives, policing, and how Americans interpret major events differently depending on their experiences and beliefs. Some argue that Barack Obama simply acknowledged difficult parts of American history, while others believe his approach contributed to greater political polarization. Was the backlash against Obama driven mainly by policy disagreement, race, or a combination of both? Share your thoughts in the comment section. We would love to hear your perspective. Do you think America has become more divided since Obama's presidency, or were these divisions always present beneath the surface? Continue watching the next set of clips, and afterward, we'll return with more commentary.
Let's not forget that Barack Obama reached a deal that prevented Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Trump ripped that deal up. Now we're at war with Iran to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, which Trump said he obliterated their capacity for it late last year.
Did y'all hear what Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl said about Barack Obama and how he divided the country? Just listen to this dude.
As our president, other than just love listening to him talk because he's such a great orator, I disagree with so many of his policies. I thought in so many ways, rather than uniting us as a country, even by race, he divided us. Everything was black and white. Everything was the obstacles that were against, my players from being successful. I'm trying to teach my guys, look, I don't want you working at Subway. I want you owning 5 of them. And that's possible. And I think in many ways, Barack Obama told a different story.
This is crazy to me. He didn't divide the country by his words or his actions or even his policies. The outcome of the election divided the country. You may say, well, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He won. We're not racist because obviously he won. Yeah. A great deal of Americans are great, not racist, right? They love all people regardless of race. But there were a number of Americans who were and still are racist. They had a problem with Obama becoming president. So Bruce Pearl 100% misses the mark here, 100%, because you literally have black people out there who think Obama didn't do enough for black people. So that's crazy to me how you got black people who are saying, no, he didn't do enough for black people when he was in office. So to hear this dude now say he divided us because he made everything about race is crazy work. No, Obama didn't make everything about race. Everybody else, the media, the people, they made it about race.
Back in 2014, President Barack Obama wore this tan suit to a press conference, and you could have sworn that he committed the most heinous crime you can think about. It genuinely dominated the news for days. Some people said that it was unpresidential of him to wear a tan suit. Some people were saying that he didn't look serious at all wearing a tan suit. And the internet lost its mind over a color choice. In hindsight, and in light of today's backlash, it really shows how thin the barrier was for outrage back in that era. You have the president of the free world insulting the former president of the free world with racist symbolism. He's not gonna apologize for it. Guys, let's put this into perspective. Back then, all President Obama had to do for a national scandal was wear a tan suit. And today, way more serious and real things get brushed off as jokes, as trolling, or my favorite, free speech. And I'm not talking or defending President Obama as being perfect. I'm just pointing out how crazy the shift in media norms has become. What gets treated as unacceptable versus normalized over time. The Obama tan suit has quite literally become a cultural meme for remember when this was the worst thing? Honestly, it lands because I remember how real the outrage was for a tan suit.
All right, racists. Oh yes, we're gonna talk about him.
Sometimes your own people set you up for a takedown. And it was a concerted effort by government officials to deny your rights as colored and Negroes throughout the Americas and islands. Wake up.
Please support the creator and watch their entire video that covers the reclassification timeline perfectly. I'll link their page in the comments. And now, for the man of the hour, President Barack Obama, the face of change, the man who guaranteed hope and promise. And behind everyone's backs, his administration was the most recent entry that participated in the indigenous erasure of Black Americans, and at the same time attempted to hide the true name origins of Native Americans. They told everyone this bill was necessary to address the use of dicey terms in federal laws, which isn't the government's place to decide how Black Americans should feel about their classifications and their ancestry. If the first people the Spanish colonizers met were dark-skinned and labeled Negro or colored on census records, why erase the verbiage on census records now? He literally said that laws have been written in America with a certain language that we all look at today and cringe, like Oriental and Negro. So he decided to sign a bill to change the racial language in federal laws, but not a law to protect from the actual violence of using the N-word against Black Americans? A weird focal point for a US president, wouldn't you say? Well, while they were creating laws that erases the reclassified terms from federal laws, here's what we were all doing in 2016. In 2016, they had us dancing to Drake's song, One Dance. Hillary was running for president, and the Formation World Tour was happening, and we were all perfectly distracted, myself included. All of this is used to divert everyone's attention, while removing Black Americans' connection to the reclassified term, Negro, which affects the history of census records. It's that paper genocide that is yet to be completed. It's an effort to change laws and vital statistics records to further separate the Aboriginal Black Americans from the land. Need I remind everyone that it's impossible, but it doesn't mean that the stupid people won't stop trying. The Department of Energy Organization Act removes Negro, Puerto Rican, American Indian, Eskimo, Oriental, or Aleut from being used in federal law. But wait, I thought the Native Americans said that they were American Indians. Maybe we were all just making that up too. As early as 2013, they tried to erase the same verbiage and classifications from all vital statistics records in the country. So, no one can say that Black Americans are lying, because it's still happening to this day. The erasure and destiny swap is ongoing. They are repeated efforts of trying to take the identity of one group of people, and it has failed at every step of the way. But it doesn't mean that they'll stop. But now, in this age of truth, we're equipped to catch you colonizers right in the act. And you can now consider yourselves caught, white-handed. The true American Indians are awake now, and there's absolutely nothing the United States Corporation can do about it.
Obama did it better. Obama did it better. The new talking point from MAGA is, well, Obama dropped bombs too. Yeah, he did. And he did it better. Obama was able to use surgical strikes and limited military operations to take out targets and not start a fucking war. How about that shit? He did it better. In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. He was able to deport way more people than Donald Trump, and he's able to do it on 1/10 of the freaking budget. Yeah? And without sending fucking goon squads into American cities. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get across a healthcare bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump, for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better. So trying to say that Obama did it too, on any subject, just shows the failure of Trump and the failure of his people to recognize that everything that Trump said Obama did it fucking better. They just don't like that a black man did it better than a white man. And one last point, let's not forget that Obama was able to get Iran to enter into a non-proliferation treaty for nukes. Trump couldn't do it, so Obama did it better.
Obama changed the culture of this country in ways that we are still reeling from, and I pray one day we find a way out of. Obama introduced a concept that if you disagree with me, it's because of who you are and the fact that you are genuinely an evil person. Prior to Obama, the perspective of most people in political discourse was, you love America, I love America. We have different visions as to what is healthy for America.
I think that statement alone could qualify you for, like, antipsychotic medication. You have never listened to any political commentary in your life if you think that prior to Obama, people like Rush Limbaugh, people weren't demonizing the Clintons, weren't talking about how evil the socialists, the commies were, the Democrats were. This was mainstream Republican political discourse across every single talk radio station, across all of Fox News. The idea that Obama might be one of the most delusional things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Obama, it was you. It was you, President Obama, who spoke these words at an Islamic dinner. I am one of you. It was you, Obama, who on ABC News referenced my Muslim faith. It was you, Obama, who gave $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funds to rebuild foreign mosques. It was you, Obama, who wrote that in the event of a conflict, I will stand with the Muslims. It was you, Obama, who assured the Egyptian foreign minister that I am a Muslim. It was you, Obama, who bowed in submission before the Saudi king. It was you, Obama, who sat for 20 years in a liberation theology church condemning America and professing Marxism. It was you, Obama, who exempted Muslims from penalties under Obamacare that the rest of us have to pay. It was you, Obama, who mocked the Bible and Jesus Christ's Sermon on the Mount while repeatedly referring to the Holy Quran. It was you, Obama, who traveled the Islamic world denigrating the United States of America. It was you, Obama, who instantly threw the support of your administration behind the building of the Ground Zero Victory Mosque overlooking the hallowed crater of the World Trade Center. It was you, Obama, who ordered Georgetown University and Notre Dame to shroud all vestiges of Jesus Christ before you would agree to go to their schools to speak. It was you, Obama, who appointed rabid Islamists to Homeland Security. It was you, Obama, who as an Illinois senator was the only individual who would speak in favor of infanticide. It was you, Obama, who curtailed the military tribunals of all Islamic terrorists. And it was you, Obama, who has refused to speak out concerning the horrific executions of women throughout the Muslim culture. It was you, Obama, who, when queried in India, refused to acknowledge the true extent of radical global jihadists and instead profusely praised Islam in a country that is 82% Hindu and the victim of numerous Islamic terrorist assaults. It was you who funneled $900 million in U.S. taxpayer dollars to Hamas. It was you, Obama, who ordered the United States Postal Service to honor the Muslim holiday with a new commemorative stamp. It was you, Obama, who funded mandatory Arabic language and culture studies in grammar schools across the USA. It was you, Obama, who joined the chorus of the Muslim Brotherhood to depose Egypt's Hosni Mubarak, formerly America's strongest ally in North Africa, but remain muted in your non-response to the Brotherhood-led...
Y'all want to know why they hate Obama so much? Watch this.
Actually, I don't. And that's why we're here. Okay. Thank you. All right. What I'd like to do... No, don't worry about it, guys. Okay, let me finish. Let me... How about... These guys don't need to go. Let me finish. I respect the passion of these young people because they feel deeply about the concerns for their families. Now, what you need to know when I'm speaking as President of the United States, and I come to this community, is that if, in fact, I could solve all these problems without passing laws in Congress, then I would do so.
But we're also a nation of laws. That's part of our tradition. And so the easy way out is to try to yell and pretend like I can do something by violating our laws. And what I'm proposing is the harder path, which is to use our democratic processes to achieve the same goal that you want to achieve. But it won't be as easy as just shouting. It requires us lobbying and getting it done. So for those of you who are committed to getting this done, I am going to march with you and fight with you every step of the way to make sure that we are welcoming every striving, hard-working immigrant who sees America the same way we do. As a country where no matter who you are or what you look like or where you come from, you can make it if you try. And if you're serious about making that happen, then I'm ready to work with you. But it is going to require work. It is not simply a matter of us just saying we're going to violate the law. That's not our tradition. But the great thing about this country is we have this wonderful process of democracy, and sometimes it is messy and sometimes it is hard. But ultimately, justice and truth win out. That's always been the case in this country. That's going to continue to be the case today.
They know they could never. They know they could never. And that's why they hate him. That's why he is so far under their skin. And it's I hate to say unfortunate, but it's kind of unfortunate that he did follow the law and follow the process, because the other people hated him for doing that. If he would have broke the law and not followed the rules or whatever the case may be, this would have been a completely different conversation. But Republicans hate him because they cannot be him.
Barack Obama currently is the president that have deported the most people in United States history. Where were you clowns? Where were your protests, crying, breaking into press conferences when Barack Obama was doing it? Roll it.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
Now, when he said, now I promise to God, I put this on my life. If y'all take that transcript and say that Donald Trump said this, which sounds like something Donald Trump would say, present it to your ignorant family members, and you say, yeah, you're right. You know what? I think Trump is wrong. This quote, have you seen this, what Trump said? This was wrong, wasn't it? You read that quote to them. They will come unhinged and cry in the middle of the street and say, this is what, see, every Republican, every Democrat has done. No, they haven't. And then you go, actually, this was Obama, the deporter in chief. They've tried to levy things against Donald Trump, blocking him from doing his job. They tried to do everything under the book. 3 million people were deported under Obama's administration, more than any other U.S. president in history. He deported 438,000 people in 2013. That's almost 500,000 people in 1 year. Majority of the people he deported are what? Mexicans. Where were y'all at? You guys were MIA. Mexicans, Guatemalans, Hondurans, Salvadorians. Most of them were men. Why? Because they mostly sending men. Why? Because these ain't families and they ain't coming over here because they just need opportunity. Okay. Roll the clip.
Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws. And I believe that they must be held accountable.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully. This is not going to be a free ride. It's not going to be some instant amnesty.
Come on, Brock.
What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying illegally. But after you've done these things over a certain period of time, you can earn your citizenship. So that it's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it, but over time, you give people an opportunity. Now, it only works, though, if you do all the pieces. I think the American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration, but they can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it.
I don't even need to do a show no more. Like, that's all that need to be said, right? This was Barack Obama. 08 to 16 or 12? I mean, this is Obama. Where has the country gone so far from that what he's saying is somehow mythical at this point? He's saying the same thing that every American should consider and believe. This is important. I don't have a problem with, many of you guys don't have a problem with, immigrants. Yeah, there are people that do farming, clean houses, doing construction. I ain't seen nobody else but Mexicans doing construction. Doing construction and some of these other things that some of these immigrants have done, we appreciate. We like that they do it. Come on, keep doing it. But you do it legally. Why can't you do it legally? They have visas for all kind of work permits for people to come in here from Mexico and other places around the world to work in America. Come work. Do it legally like the other man next to you. You got 15 people at a work site. 3 of them did it legally. The rest of them didn't. Why can't you do it legally like they did? Listen, y'all, do you understand that we would have no complaints if people just did it legally? Come here, fill out your paperwork, get accepted, come work, get your out of here when it's your time to go. Nobody has a problem with that. We allow more immigrants in our country legally than any country in the world. Why are they so, what's so special about these people who come illegally? When we let millions of people come here illegally every year, they go through the process, they get their stuff done, and they come work on the farm. They come here and start companies. They come here and serve in the military. It's all kind of ways in which you can get up in here. Just come up in here the right way, like Barack Obama said. Okay. I want to play this clip because I think that every single sheriff in the United States of America, every single person in law enforcement should be saying the same thing that he's saying. Roll the clip.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
Somebody get this man a Nobel Peace Prize.
Now that you have seen the full story, we hope you have a better understanding of why this debate continues to generate strong opinions across the political spectrum. Whether you agree or disagree with the arguments presented, it is clear that discussions about race, leadership, and American history remain some of the country's most important and controversial issues. Conversations like this help people hear different perspectives and think critically about current events. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, please subscribe, comment, and share to others for support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.